Hey guys, before the video starts, just wanted to mention real quick, if you guys are looking for some cool discussion, a really long discussion at minimum, of the current meta and what the future meta might look like without Sherry, and what overall people's thoughts are on the runes, you can check out the link in the description below, which will take you to the ARG YouTube page, where we just had a video come up that involves myself, Ryan Miles, Mike Rance, Alex Logan, Dylan Hunt, and Brandon Bremont, doing this big roundtable discussion about this that went on for quite a while. It's going to probably be the only time we ever do a discussion that large with that many people, just because, well, you'll see why. But make sure you subscribe to that channel for more stuff and more opinions from those people in that video. Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to another week of FOW news. Before we get started, as always, this video is brought to you by Happy Little Hug Factory. If you guys are looking for FOW singles or sealed product, including pre-orders for the next set, they had gotten a fresh new stock of all the starter decks. Although I think that one's starting to run low because you guys are buying the crap out of those. So make sure you can get the starter decks while you can. And they also got a fresh new set of the booster boxes because you guys had sold out, made them sell out of all of those, but they're able to acquire more. So make sure you go and visit their website via the link in our description below so they know we sent you. The booster boxes are only 80 bucks a piece and the starter decks are 15 bucks a piece. But if you add all 5 starters into your cart at once, it takes 10 bucks off automatically off of those, the grand total price of the starter decks. So make sure you go and check that out over, like I said, in the link in the description below. So once again, another week with a little bit less Melissa, and that's just due to some work stuff going on between us. But hopefully next week, I think we'll be back on track with our normal news. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and start this news with the tournaments that happened this past weekend. There was 2 of them. Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of information from them yet. There should be, hopefully like today or tomorrow, we'll get the remaining information. So you can always check on our website, tcgscripts.com, click on the top 8 list, and it goes from oldest to newest. So just scroll to the bottom for the newest ones, and just check back there every once in a while to see if it's updated with the rest of the info. So we'll start with GP Bologna. This is actually the last GP of the entire season, and what we do know of it is 124 people attended, and out of that 124 people, the ruler breakdown was 41 Scheherazade, 27 Time Spinning Witch, 17 Keurig, 15 Pandas, and then it just sort of breaks down from there. So that's a pretty interesting spread there. I'm not, like I said, I'm not entirely sure what the top 8 is or what first place and all that was. So hopefully we'll get that information soon. And like I said, just check the website and it'll be updated as we get the information. The other tournament was Italian Masters. Now this tournament specifically was a cluster only one. There was 49 people in attendance at this one. This one, the ruler breakdown was 22 Sherry, 16 Time Spinning Witch, 11 Gil, and then it broke down once again from there. Top 8 was pretty interesting. The top 8, in no particular order, consisted of 2 Keurig, 2 Scheherazade, 1 Fair, 1 Gil, the green Gil, 1 Tigress, and then 1 Time Spinning Witch. So that's a pretty interesting spread. Once again, it was a cluster only event, but still pretty interesting to see. With the exception of those 2 tournaments, also I want to mention on the website tcgscripts.com, Oscar just finished updating the previous 4 tournaments all with their gacha log list for the top 8. So it's really easy for you guys to go and look at those lists, type in the code if you want to just add that list to your gacha log, and then edit it as you see fit, different things like that. So Oscar just finished all that up, like I said, and then we'll start on these as soon as we get the information for them. So moving on to the rest of the news, the first thing that came up was there was card leaks. And essentially what happened that we can gather is someone, whether it was in the company itself or someone close to the happenings and goings-on of the company, leaked the entire set of cards from the new set, New Dawn Rises, to some players, and at least in Europe. It might be some other countries as well, but for sure Europe is what it sounds like. Like I said, the details are a little sketchy. And so because of that, FOW, they had mentioned that they were already doing an investigation on it, and they're trying to keep it on the down low to try and figure out who it was. But unfortunately, because it sort of got out there, that's sort of out the window. So to help remedy the situation, because essentially the spoilers were being shown to pro players who were going to be attending Worlds. Now Worlds is going to be a cluster only event, so it's only the starter decks and the first booster box, and that's it. So obviously the more information you have on the set, especially ahead of time, is a really huge advantage going in. So kind of sucks that that's happening. Whoever did that and received them and didn't tell anyone and stuff like that. I really hope they're found out, because that's just a crappy thing in general. But because of that, to help even the playing field, Force Will reacted and revealed the entire set. If you guys missed that, we have our most recent spoiler video. Our final spoiler video is an hour-and-a-half long, because we're basically going through all the remaining cards that were revealed that we had not already gone over in spoiler videos. So that's cool that they did that and they're able to react accordingly. It's unfortunate that they had to do that, because that basically kills off the entire spoiler season of the week daily, like looking forward while I'm at work to getting home and looking at the new spoilers and doing the videos, different things like that, and everyone getting hyped on it. So that kind of sucks, that aspect at least, but at least they was able, this is really one of the only options they had in this position. So that's cool, at least that they were able to do that. We got some updates on the Willpower Reward system. So when you watch this video, maybe the Willpower Rewards have been spoiled. As of right now, the actual what the rewards are has not been spoiled. If you didn't know already, you have until the 31st, so like 2 days left, to scan in all your codes. So make sure you're scanning those in and getting that done with. And I think actually, I don't know if he still has any left, but in the Force of Will marketplace on Facebook, Happy Little Hug Factory did have stacks of codes that they were selling. So that's something you could look into as well if you don't have as many codes. But basically, they said that that's when the due date will happen, that they're due. They said they're going to try and at least spoil them before the 31st, but we'll see if that happens. They did say that the top 500 will get special pricing, and that pricing will be numbered cards that also have some sort of symbol or something on it, showing like what willpower it's from. So the assumption is that that card is going to be time spending, which essentially doing what Alhamot did last year, which was give us an Uber version of a card that didn't exist and then number it 1 to 500. So it kind of makes sense. So that's pretty much what we're expecting at this point in time. They also revealed the buy box promo and playmat. So the promo card is what you get for each booster box you buy, and the playmat is what you get for buying a case or 6 boxes at once. Essentially, you get the playmat. So that's them there. The playmat we had actually already seen a while ago. I forget why or where, but we had seen it before. The promo is new though, so that's pretty cool looking. So definitely some good stuff to look forward to. At least we're almost there to when it comes out. We also got confirmation that Dual Stones will be rotating out. So when New Dawn Rises comes out, Dual Stones will only be legal in, you know, Wander, Epic Stories, anything that's not Cluster or New Frontiers essentially will be no Dual Stones, which is really, I'm actually really excited for. It makes it so that the decks are more playing around what they have available, and it's not just sort of an easy way to get extra will. Especially in the new decks, I feel like Dual Stones, after seeing the runes spoiled, would be kind of strong, because being able to play those runes, a multitude of different color runes that aren't color locked or ruler locked, could tend to go out of control pretty quickly. And it also helps balance down, I don't know if that's the correct term, old red cluster rulers that are really work off of that consistency of having access to dual colors. Now they're forced to go to monocolor. It doesn't really like nerf them necessarily, but it does bring it all to an even playing field, because older rulers from red cluster definitely benefit more, in my opinion, from the dual stones than the newer rulers. So it all helps overall, but it's cool that we finally find out what's going on with that. We also got high-res images of the new booster box and starter decks for the new set. So you can see that here. We'll start with the booster box. As you can see, it is yellow. So that's really interesting looking. It's the first time they have not used red or black that I'm aware of, and usually they just use red. So it's just jarring to see anything other than that. But it all coincides with sort of their overall theme and philosophy going into this new set, where it's sort of like a soft reboot almost of the game, it feels like. So coincides with that. The big takeaway though is it looks like we still got the crappy flimsy box. So that sucks quite a bit actually. I really wish that they could figure that out. Because it's just such a weird thing to have crappy box, have a good box, and then have a really good box, and then you don't revert back to the good box, you revert back all the way down to the crappy box. So I'll still say that sucks, and that's disappointing. I really hope, because imagine if that was a hard box, especially the new ones that you could store cards in, and it was yellow. That's super cool, but we got this. We also got the high-res images of the star decks, as you can see. So that's what they look like. It's really cool looking, I think, with the dual windows and stuff, and all the different coloring makes it really stand out. So when it's sitting there at a local game store, that and the booster box are really just gonna pop off the shelf, and you'll see and be like, oh, what's that, or what have you. So I'm really digging the look of them overall. In case you missed both our podcast and my mini video, the ban list was released. The ban list will take effect September 7th, which is earlier than usual. Usually it's revealed like the week before the set is released and takes effect the day of the set release or something like that. And so this is obviously a lot earlier, which is pretty interesting. But the ban list, just to go over it super quick, because you guys have probably already heard it by now, is they officially banned Scheherazade, which is awesome. You can hear all the thoughts about that on the podcast, but it's glad that they finally did that. They unbanned obviously Evil Genie and Eve, because those are completely useless cards now, and they unbanned Rune Story, which is actually still a decent card to play and has a multitude of effects for 2 will. Granted, the 2 will is harder to get to because it's 2 different colors inside of a non-dual stone format, but so that's still pretty cool. And in Wanderer, they banned Lumia, because main reason they said is because of the rule change for enter effects. It's a blanket thing, so even old resonators now have the new enter effect sort of typing to it. So with Lumia inside of Wanderer, it just became super strong, so they just prematurely banned her. They also banned Apollo due to multiple reasons. They banned Play Dead for pretty obvious reasons inside of Wanderer. This is all in Wanderer I'm talking about. So yeah, so that's pretty cool that they're still looking after Wanderer, and that we finally got the Sherry ban, although in my opinion it's still pretty late for it, but you know, what are you gonna do? Also, as a side note, Lackey Plugin was updated with all of the new cards from the star decks and the main set. So if you guys use Lackey, the plugin and all that, just make sure you go and update it, and you can start playing in there. I'm sure it's updated on Untap as well. If you're unsure of how to use Lackey or updating it or anything like that, just make sure to go to tcgscrubs.com, and on the main page there's a link there to our Lackey how-to video. So that about does it for the news today. Let us know what you guys think of all those different developments, and we'll see you guys next time.